You are watching The Book Club. Every Wednesday, we handpick the best books to improve your life. The 15 Best Books on Empires. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello Aluxers, and welcome back for another exciting video put together by our team here at Alux.com. Today we are sharing with you a collection of books that have best illustrated one or two empires in our history. An empire is a collection of states or countries that are ruled over by a single monarch, short and to the point. Most of you know a little bit here and there about major empires in history, but these following books provide you with extensive detail on people, places, and objects that have contributed to respective empires and significant events during its existence and its downfall. We definitely don't want you to miss out on these great books that provide huge insight into some of the greatest periods and places from our history. Number 1. The Rise and Fall of the Great Powers by Paul Kennedy. Starting off with a brilliant book by Paul Kennedy that documents how various powers have risen to the top and fallen into obscurity over the past 5 centuries in the post-Renaissance period. In his book, Kennedy searches for various patterns that explain the rise and fall of great powers, taking into account economic and military strengths and weaknesses, along with probable effects on their status as a great power. He focuses on 5 main players that have reached the rank of great power: the US, Europe, being France, Germany, and England, the Soviet Union, China, and Japan. The relevancy and the facts and figures in this book in today's geopolitical landscape are totally worth the $13.15. Or if that's a stretch for you at the moment, go to alux.com/freebook and sign up to get the audiobook free of charge. But keep in mind the offer is only available if it's your first time signing up, thanks to our great friends at Audible. Number 2. I, Claudius by Robert Graves. This is a book that survived the ages and is known as one of the best books on the Roman Empire to date. I, Claudius is a very insightful and informative read that's based on the autobiography that follows the life of Tiberius Claudius, who was considered to be an idiot because of his physical infirmities. What makes I, Claudius so enjoyable is the depth of information involved in the book, sprinkled with some wit and entertainment, detailing the web of lies, the conspiracies, and the illicit affairs that the protagonist had to endure in his life. It's also quite educational if you consider that these characters and facts were all real at one point in history. Number 3. Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. Here's a very delightful read that relays the story of humanity, focusing on how civilizations came to be, along with their comparable levels of power. Jared Diamond explains that powerful societies have been the first to master food production, which led them to develop powerful weapons and means of transportation, thus marking the formation of the colonial and modern worlds, which can be traced back to geographic factors that have influenced early human diets. Drawing from his vast knowledge of biology, medicine, and anthropology, this book reveals fascinating insights into human history, which definitely makes it a must-read. Number 4. The Radetzky March by Joseph Roth. In his book, Roth covers 3 generations of an Austrian family, the Trotta family, spanning from the mid-19th century until 1916, with a big emphasis on the last generation. It's a rich and luminous novel set in the Austro-Hungarian Empire that reveals a sweeping history of heroism, desire, compromise, tragedy, and heartbreak, told in a witty and compassionate way, which will resonate with any interested reader. Number 5. Osman's Dream by Caroline Finkel. Even though it's a bit of a difficult read, this skillfully written volume has to be a priority on your reading list. It's an essential read for those interested in the history of the Ottoman Empire. Caroline covers in detail 6 centuries of history on the Ottoman Empire, from early inception during the days of glory till its very end in World War I. Although the book is pretty thick, some parts of the history have been left out, which might not sit well with Ottoman Empire enthusiasts, but overall, you'll love it. Number 6. The Praxis by Walter John Williams. Seeing as this video is all about the best books on empires, we had to include this novel that revolves around a fictional empire, the Shah Empire, which holds the universe under a tyrannical rule. After 10 millennia of terror, this despotic empire is rapidly fading into oblivion, and an era of terror is just beginning as there are some who feel they should rightfully inherit the empire from the Shah. This gripping novel will keep any sci-fi nerd on their toes and have them flipping page after page to find out what's happening next in this epic adventure. Number 7. Masters of the Word by William J. Bernstein. This is a riveting, extensive, and deep study of the history of writing, which covers the world's most influential moments that have played a major role in shaping today's world. From the birth of the written word in Mesopotamia, to the Industrial Revolution, to the role of social media in revolutions like the Arab Spring, language and media have proven to be a key part in our daily lives. Master of the Word is brimming with fascinating ideas and incredible connections that will leave you wanting more after you've finished. Number 8. Imperium by Robert Harris. Here's an author that takes you back in time and relates an extraordinary struggle for power in ancient Rome. Imperium, the first part of a trilogy of novels, reveals the compelling life of Roman Senator Marcus Cicero, told by his household slave and right-hand man Tiro. We wholeheartedly recommend this amazing book as it places Cicero, one of the most fascinating figures in Roman history, in a daunting spotlight where he has to use every tool at his disposal to prove himself worthy of absolute power. Our friends from Audible have made things easy for you guys. With just a couple of clicks, you can acquire Imperium for free just by going to Alux.com/freebook and signing up. Number 9. Decline and Fall of the British Empire by Piers Brendan. Here's an excellent, comprehensive book that takes a thorough look at one of the greatest empires ever formed in history and its rapid collapse after only one generation that left an array of dependencies and contested legacy. The Decline and Fall of the British Empire covers a large span of time, which Brendan fills with bright and comedic moments that relate to a symbolic event. Number 10. The Cambridge History of the Byzantine Empire by Jonathan Shepard. Known as the Thousand-Year Empire, the Byzantine Empire has one of the most fascinating stories ever. The book offers valuable insights about all the various territorial and structural changes, religious controversies, along with many political, economic, and military events. The Cambridge History of the Byzantine Empire is a pretty essential read for postgraduates, professionals, and other connoisseurs of the topic. Also, Aluxers, you might want to check out our video, The 15 Things You Didn't Know About Turkey, which was a key territory of the Byzantine Empire. Number 11. The Ascent of Money by Niall Ferguson. Moving on to something completely different from what's been mentioned so far, The Ascent of Money. You don't have to be a genius or even a specialist to figure out that money has played a key role in the development of our world, and subsequently in the formation of empires. In his captivating book, Ferguson explains how money has helped shape history, contributing to the birth and collapse of civilizations and world powers as much as technology, population, and other essential factors have. We strongly recommend you don't miss out on this book as it's vital for your understanding of the past, as well as the present and future of civilization. Number 12. SPQR, A History of Ancient Rome by Mary Beard. SPQR takes a fresh approach to describing the history of ancient Rome in a way that's both clever and intricate, capturing your interest fully. From its early days as an unremarkable little village to its monstrous-size peak as the history's most notorious superpower, the book covers 1,000 years of fascinating history of this civilization with its nuanced attention to class, democratic struggles, and the lives of entire groups of people omitted from many historical narratives for centuries. It'll definitely make a significant dent in your view of the Roman Empire you've had so far. Number 13. Mastering the Rockefeller Habits by Vern Harnish. We've talked about a few empires so far, but there's one specific category of empire we haven't talked about, and that's a business empire. Harnish's book talks all about underlying sets of fundamental characteristics that you need to nurture if you wish to build the foundation of a solid business empire. There are many thousands of businesses that have followed the principles in this book, and many have found massive success as their valuation went over $1 billion. Now, running a business is ultimately about creating value and freedom. If you master what this book has to offer, you can have the life you always fantasized about. Number 14. Genghis Khan and the Making of a Modern World by Jack Weatherford. This list would honestly be incomplete without the mention of the largest contiguous empire in the history of humankind, the Mongol Empire. Jack Weatherford reveals how Khan brought Eastern civilizations into contact with Europe and opened up trade routes that led the way to modern times. This brilliant work of history is an epic story that shines a new light on the Mongol rule and its far-reaching legacy. Number 15. A Peace to End All Peace by David Fromkin. This one is quite the thought-provoking novel that focuses mainly on the period from 1914 until 1922, when the Allies drew lines on the blank map that remade the geography and politics of the Middle East. This book talks about major parts of the Middle East, such as Egypt and Palestine, but also of events in Central Asia and Afghanistan, which, more often than not, go unnoticed. The book has lots of details, but if the topic piques your interest, it's well worth the read. Also, it includes valuable updated appraisals of this region of the world today and what you can learn from its history. And Aluxers, that's a wrap on the best books on empires. And before you click off to another awesome video on our channel, just let us know, which empire in history was your top favorite? Let us know in the comments section below. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, you get your bonus book. Here it is. Number 16. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Part science, part history, Sapiens represents quite a comprehensive account of the empire of man and what has happened so far in history. It also details the early human cooperation and sacrifices which have been made that form the basis of human culture. This is a book that's gained instant international recognition for being a maverick in its field, and it's been praised by some of the greatest minds on the planet. You really don't want to miss out on the value that Sapiens has to offer. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.